let's talk about the number 1 seeds, right? Because coming into the tournament, certainly felt like they could all get there to a Final Four. I know it's rare to have like it that chalky, but all 4 get through. 3 of them were tested at various points. Duke was not. That is my national champion pick, and I feel really good about it. Like, this team is so talented. They have so much size. And you and I were talking before we started recording, like, big John Shire fans. Like, this team has it all. And I think barring injury or just like a totally out of character night, I do expect them to get to San Antonio. And I personally still think that they're my favorite to win it all.
Yeah, I mean, look, Duke has been as impressive as anybody, and I don't really see a vulnerability in this group, Nicole. Everybody, Coach Shire didn't get the respect he deserved is probably the safest way to put it, by not getting Coach of the Year in the ACC. And look, Coach Kelsey did a great job. Year 1 in Louisville, we get it. But like, it's almost, you look at Shire and go, oh, well, it's Duke. Like, he's supposed to be good. Well, in the NIL era, a lot of programs are dumping a lot of money into it. You still got to coach high-level talent. And what stands out to me about, yes, Duke is uber talented. Cooper Flagg is at the apex of their talent. But they're so well coached. They don't miss a block out. They make the extra pass. They know when to make the outlet. They always get not a good shot. They get a high quality, the best shot, and it reflects in their field goal percentage inside the arc and beyond it. This group is great. But you're talking about this confidence, Nicole, and I get it. But did you watch Arizona just play the other night? Like, what a game versus Oregon. Did you see? And I know you did. Did you see BYU and Coach Young and how they spread you out with those NBA ideals? That path ain't easy coming out of Newark for Duke. Are you a little bit concerned there?
Not really. Like, I get what you're saying, and those are going to be tough challenges, but it's, I mean, we both lived in the Jersey, New York area. That's going to be a Duke home game. Like, it's the atmosphere, all of that, these guys and the level of, pressure and expectation they face, they've met the moment with all of it. Shire personally has been through so many of these types of runs before. I'm not that concerned. I'm not concerned about the freshmen that they play and that they start. Tyrese Proctor and the level of experience that he brings, and this 2-game tear, he set a bunch of records for his scoring, the 3-point shooting that he's had. He doesn't have to do that. He's probably not going to continue to do that every single game, but like, what that adds to this team that already had so much talent, but to add that level of experience, I just still really, really like them. And this wasn't the region that I was most worried about. I thought Florida, for as good as they are, as talented as they are, as red hot as they were coming into the tournament, I'm more worried about that region, although now St. John's is out of it as the number 2 seed. But like, I still feel like a Maryland and Texas Tech, like some of these other teams in that region could be dangerous. So I still feel like Florida's path, even how good they're playing, and Walter Clayton Jr. coming off an incredible performance against UConn, I still feel like that's the region that I'm most interested in. And just like, if Florida does get through it, I'll be most impressed with that number 1 seed coming through and surviving.
Yeah, I think they got their clunker game out. And it wasn't necessarily their clunker game as much as it was how well UConn played.
Yeah.
I mean, UConn hit shots on the back of Liam McNeely going for 20+. They were able to neutralize the backboard against that great length and size and athleticism and power down low of the Florida interior. They limited their turnovers. Those things matter in that game. That's why the margin was so slim, and UConn was positioned at points to maybe steal that one. It was a wake-up call. And sometimes these teams, not Duke clearly in that first weekend, but some teams need a wake-up call to say, hey, anybody can get you. I am concerned about as great a job, and it's an incredible job Coach Willard's done with that group. And what a finish by Derek Queen to advance past Colorado State. And you're not going to call it travel there. Don't want to hear about it.
I'm with you.
But here's what I worry about, Nicole, is as great as they've been, and they've got the most talented starting 5 in this thing, except for maybe Florida's starting 5. But the difference between Florida and Maryland, and it's no surprise I'm going to say this, Florida can tap into their bench. Florida's got a depth there. Now, you're fine playing 5 guys. They're 18 to, I guess now 24, 25. We've got to say with college basketball players. But if they get Derek Queen into foul trouble or anybody in that crab 5, who do you tap into to keep up with Florida's firepower? That's the concern.
It's a great point. I mean, that crab 5 scored 70 of the 72 points in the round of 32 game. That's absolutely a factor with Maryland. Quickly on the other two number one seeds, Auburn had, some lulls, I would say, in some of their first 2-round games. And then obviously, Houston, and I know you and I are both high on Kelvin Sampson, what he built, the way that the style that they play. Any concerns about either of those two teams and the way that they advanced?
Concerns. I'm here to tell you right now, Nicole. And my bracket has been better this year than it has in years past. So I say this with a little bit of confidence, maybe some bravado. But I think Auburn goes down. Michigan's going to knock off Auburn.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I was at the SEC tournament. I watched this team in Nashville, these Auburn Tigers. They're a shell of themselves. And look, credit to them. They've gotten to the second weekend, and those losses they took at the end of the year, we heard Coach Pearl say it. They were against high-level teams, tournament teams, dangerous teams. They're not the same team since Janai Broom's return from injury. They're not the same efficient offense. He's not 100%. He's a great player, but he's not operating at the level they need him to, and that offense isn't either. Now, here's the thing, and it's not laid-up analysis. Michigan needs to make shots. Well, of course, every team needs to make shots, right? But Michigan gets into this lull of their own where if they're not making shots, it's infectious in a bad way to everything with how they approach the game. They don't guard the way they need to. They get reckless a little bit, and they take a tick down. But if those shots are falling with their personnel, those 2 7-footers in Golden and Wolf, Trey Donaldson motivated to play his old squad in Auburn.
And clutch shot after clutch shot for him in every big moment that they've had this year.
Coach May's a hell of a coach, Nicole. I like Michigan. I think Michigan advances here. I expect an all Big Ten Elite Eight matchup coming out of the South.
I was going to say, if it's not Michigan, I think it's Michigan State. That's what my bracket had, pulling off the upset of Auburn.
You think
out of that region as well.